Massimiliano Allegri was fired this Friday by Juventus, with an official statement from the club highlighting recent behavior by the coach that was considered incompatible with the institution's values and philosophy. The decision came after a series of tumultuous events in the Coppa Italia final, where Allegri was sent off in the final minutes for an outrageous complaint against the refereeing. Allegri's conduct in leaving the field in a performative and exacerbated manner was not well received by the board, who mentioned in a statement that similar attitudes had already occurred on other occasions during his management. This repetitive behavior culminated in the suspension of the coach, who was unavailable to lead the team in the last two matches of the Italian championship. The statement highlighted that, in addition to the incidents in the Coppa Italia final, there was growing concern about the way Allegri had been behaving publicly and behind the scenes, attitudes that, according to the club, violate the principles of respect, fair play, and professionalism that Juventus values. Allegri's departure marks the end of a turbulent era where, despite some successes on the pitch, conflicts and controversies often have not gone unnoticed. The club is now looking for a new coach who can not only bring positive results, but also align with the values and image that Juventus wants to project in the world of football. After the Coppa Italia victory, a more serious incident rocked Juventus' celebration. During the celebrations, club director Joly approached the players, but was abruptly stopped by Massimiliano Allegri. The coach, visibly angry, shouted at Joly, gesturing aggressively and ordering him to move away. This untimely behavior alarmed the board, considering the respect and unity expected in moments of conquest. The turmoil didn't stop there. Allegri was also involved in a confrontation with a Tuttosport journalist, insulting him by calling him a shit journalist and uttering threats. This episode was widely publicized by the media, causing negative repercussions for the coach and the club. Later, Allegri and the journalist issued a joint statement stating that they had reconciled, trying to alleviate the situation. However, the damage was already done. Allegri's explosive behavior and verbal attacks were considered unacceptable by the Juventus board, contributing to the decision to dismiss him. The need to keep the club's image intact and in line with the values of respect and professionalism was fundamental to this drastic measure. Massimiliano Allegri was never known for being the most pleasant person to the press. The coach has a difficult temper, which often manifests itself in his interactions with journalists. On several occasions, Allegri did not respect the work of the media, often being rude and answering questions in a monosyllabic manner during press conferences. His tumultuous relationship with the Italian press is marked by moments of tension and disrespect. Allegri often demonstrated impatience and irritation, which created a hostile environment during his public appearances. This attitude not only harmed communication between the club and the media, but also contributed to a negative image of the coach among the public and Juventus stakeholders. The recent incident with the Tuttosport journalist, in which Allegri insulted and threatened the professional, is a clear example of this problematic behavior. Despite having issued a joint statement stating that they had reconciled, the episode highlighted a pattern of behavior that had been worrying the Juventus board for some time. Allegri's attitude towards the press did not match the values of professionalism and respect that Juventus wishes to maintain. This history of conflicts and the inability to deal constructively with the media were determining factors in the decision to dismiss him, in addition to other incidents that occurred within the club. Juventus is now looking for a coach who not only brings success on the field, but who also knows how to represent the institution in a dignified and respectful way off it. Massimiliano Allegri's dismissal was already expected, as his period at Juventus was coming to an end. In addition to the behavioral issues, there was also a significant financial issue involved. Juventus would have to pay a fine of around €7 million if they fired him before the end of his contract. However, with the dismissal for just cause, the club can avoid this financial penalty, which made the decision easier. Although Allegri has a successful history at Juventus, having won 5 Italian titles and 5 Coppa Italia, as well as leading the team to 2 Champions League finals, his return in 2021 was widely considered a mistake. In the last 2 years, the performance of the team under his command has been disappointing, and the results have fallen far short of expectations. Allegri's strategies, which had previously led the club to success, seemed worn out and ineffective in his second spell. Relationship problems with the press, management, and even some players, combined with poor performance on the field, contributed to an unstable environment that was not conducive to success. This set of factors meant that Allegri's second spell at Juventus left a negative balance, contrasting with his first period of glory. Now, with Allegri leaving, Juventus is looking for a new coach who can revitalize the team and bring back competitiveness and harmony within the club. The objective is to find someone who not only wins titles, but who also aligns with the values of respect, professionalism, and stability that Juventus values. Juventus has gone through many wrong changes in the last 4 years, and Allegri was the lightning rod for all the criticism, often receiving criticism from fans, journalists, and the club itself. In the final stretch, Juventus no longer protected Allegri, using him as a scapegoat for the bad season. However, Allegri is not the only one to blame for the team's problems. Massimiliano Allegri's departure was necessary for Juventus to begin a new phase, and now the club looks to the future with hope and determination. Part of the Italian press points out that Thiago Motta, currently in charge of Bologna, is the board's main desire to take on the role of coach. Motta has stood out for the excellent work done at Bologna, transforming the team into one of the most organized and competitive in Serie A. Under Motta's leadership, Bologna demonstrated engaging and efficient football, with a solid defense and a dynamic attack. His modern playing style and ability to bring out the best in his players caught the attention of bigger clubs, including Juventus. The signing of Thiago Motta would be seen as a great success for Juventus, which seeks not only immediate results, but also a long-term project based on innovation and talent. Although Motta's possible departure represents a significant loss for Bologna, who could also face the departure of some of their key players, the coach is ready for a bigger challenge in Serie A. Juventus offers the ideal platform for Motta to demonstrate his skills on a broader and more competitive stage, where he can compete for titles and take the club back to the top of Italian and European football. The arrival of Thiago Motta would bring new energy and vision to Juventus, something that the board believes is essential to reversing the current scenario and building a promising future. With his winning mentality and strategic approach, Motta has the perfect profile to lead the team's renewal and restore Juventus' glory in the coming years. The coaching market in Europe is busy, and Juventus are looking for a coach who will bring stability and long-term success. After a difficult season, the board is determined to avoid the mistakes of the past, focusing on more solid and coherent planning for the future. Massimiliano Allegri's dismissal is just the beginning of a series of significant changes to come in European football. The recent season exposed several weaknesses in Juventus' team and technical management, highlighting the need for a profound restructuring. The board understands that, to regain hegemony in Italian football and return to being competitive in Europe, it is essential to adopt new strategies and innovative paths. This includes choosing a coach who not only understands the club's history and culture, but who also has a modern vision and is adaptable to the current dynamics of football. Juventus is not alone in its search for renewal. Several European teams are re-evaluating their strategies and making significant changes to their coaching staffs. This movement reflects a larger trend in European football, where fierce competition demands constant innovation and a more planned and analytical approach. For Juventus, the transition goes beyond simply changing technical command. It involves a reassessment of the club's entire structure, from player training to hiring policy, with the aim of building a solid and sustainable foundation for the future. The ambition is clear: to return to the top with attractive, competitive football in line with the club's historical values. With these changes, Juventus hopes to begin a new era of achievements and stability, reaffirming itself as a power on the European and world football scene. Choosing a new coach will be a crucial step in this process, and expectations are high that the next decision will lead the club to a bright future full of success.